So, 28 weeks to go, and we're here cutting like crazy. We thought this week it would be good to catch up on some of your questions. So, Theo, you asked, why did you decide to set your remake in the 1930s and not in modern times? There's two answers to that question. The one main answer is because I wanted to do the sequence with Kong fighting the biplanes on top of the Empire State Building. That is such an iconic movie moment. You know, I couldn't imagine anything being called King Kong and not including that sequence. I think the other reason is it's the last age of exploration, if you like. It's the final time period in which there could be those slight blank spots on the atlas. Greg has asked one of these clever questions which has different parts to it. He says, when directing a scene, what do you look for? How do you know when you've got what you want? And how many takes do you usually like to do? Well, there is no real secret to what you're doing. What happens is that everything comes off the script. And really, in a script, a scene is there for a particular reason.
It's all in the eyes of Kong.
And so the critical thing is to identify the reason that this scene exists.
Have you ever heard of Kong? Anyone doing that? We're going there. And so suddenly you're on the adventure.
You then base the design of the sequence, the blocking of the actors, the camera angles, the way that you shoot it, on the best way to get that piece of information across.
And then come up, and Preston will be here. We'll use Preston.
And generally, I do as many takes as I need to think that I've got what I need.
No, didn't get it then. Play one more.
22 Alpha, take 20.
Mark.
It's sometimes great to have choices too, and working with actors, it's often good to shoot multiple takes if you're not getting exactly the same thing every time, but you're getting a whole variety of different ways in which the scene's played, and then that gives you a lot of choices in the cutting room, which at the moment, you know, those choices I really appreciate.
Sorry, we'll cut that. That was a bit of a dog's breakfast.
The next question is by Rue Boyle, who says, how do you balance the special effects with the character elements in the movie? It's not a science. I mean, you don't sit thinking character, special effects, what percentage of each am I going to have? And largely the special effects are just simply an element in the storytelling. I mean, people have to wear costumes so that they look like the characters. The sets have to be built so that they represent what you want to have in the movie. Obviously, a movie like King Kong, you end up with many more special effects than you would if you were telling a modern-day drama story, simply because, you know, the nature of the story demands things on screen that you can't achieve any other way. The last question is submitted by David, and it's, why are you willing to share so much with the fans? Why are you doing things like these production diaries? Well, I can't tell you that. That's a complete secret.
I'm going to find out who is doing it. I want to find out who's in charge of the Kong is King website and where they're getting their information.
The production diaries have been something that have kind of organically evolved. If you look back at the very first production diary we ever did, the guys poked the video camera in my face and said,
Peter, could we do a quick blurb for the Kong fan site?
Sure, yeah.
And I turned around and said a very brief kind of cursory, you know, hi.
No more days till we start shooting. None.
It was only after that first night of shooting and that very first production diary that I began to realize what the potential was, that it could be kind of fun. It's a way of showing everybody what it takes to make a film in real time, so you can get a sense of the time scale involved, of how long we shot for, how long we're going to be editing for. It's just a kind of, we just thought it'd be fun thing to do the making of while we're making the movie. So hopefully that's answered a few of your questions, and we'll do some more in oncoming weeks, but we're just still cutting. There's not a lot of exciting stuff to see in the cutting room at the moment other than me lying on my couch and slowly assembling the movie.
Adrian packs up. He's got to get out of here. He's going to get him. Yeah, he's coming after him. That worked good.
Is that working for you?
Yeah, that works really good.
You're all over it.
Yeah.
So at the moment it's the hard slog of cutting, and it'll continue, and you'll be watching it in future weeks. So we'll see you soon.